But today I learned Microsoft has a recording feature with their PowerPoints, and I won't lie, I geeked out because my job is now so much easier than trying to hop around on OPS. Anyway, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to a newly revamped Dugout Talk. My name is Steve, and this week we're going to start breaking down potential 26-man rosters for all MLB teams going into the 2023 season. Spring training officially starts on Friday, so we will be posting videos throughout the week for each division. We will break down the American League East today, giving my thoughts on the rosters itself, their strengths and weaknesses, and then at the end of the video, I will give out my division predictions. I will not be sharing statistics or anything like that. That's just going to take too much time for the video. And as you can see on my coffee cup, as I almost spilled it, I'm not responsible for what your face does when I talk. So with that said, let's jump into the breakdown. As I said, we're going to do the American League East today, starting with the New York Yankees, who won the division last year with a 99-63 record, going into the playoffs as the 2 seed and losing in the ALCS in 4 games to the Astros. The Yankees were red hot in the first half last year, but crawled through the second half injured and seemingly lost at times. On the bright side, Aaron Judge wowed fans with an AL record 62 home runs last year, dethroning another Yankee great, Roger Maris, 61 years after he set the mark. The Yankees really haven't changed much as far as the lineup goes, but they did add Carlos Rodon to the pitching staff, which I believe makes their rotation that much better. However, the rotation has injury history outside of Garrett Cole. So the team is going to need this rotation to be healthy all year if they're going to repeat as division champs and ultimately make it to the World Series for the first time in 14 years. Bullpen wise, it has potential to be good. If the bullpen is good and the rotation is average at best, I think the offense is more than capable of saving their skin and coming away with wins. But if the bullpen starts to sputter, this team is going to have a long summer. Otherwise, in summary, this team is great on paper, but if they're facing injuries all season, they're going to be in trouble. Up next, we have the Toronto Blue Jays. They were the top wildcard team last season with a 92-70 record, but they were upset by a red-hot Mariners team that ended a 22-year playoff drought, being swept in the wildcard series at home. Honestly, the Jays lineup is right up there with the Yankees. They added up-and-coming star outfielder Dalton Varsho and veterans like Brandon Belt and Kevin Kiermaier for left-handed balance. They're almost certainly going to lead all of baseball in team home runs this year. I would bet my left kidney on that one, especially because they moved the fences in. Like, ball is going to fly in Toronto criminally. The rotation is strong. I know that Kikuchi and Barrios, they're inconsistent. They definitely struggled last year and have struggled at times in the rotation. But the Jays also have young arms in the minors. They're more likely going to play in the big league club this year. So if the rotation does have struggles, the Jays can easily fill that void. I think the bullpen is right up there with the Yankees as well. To be honest, this is going to be a really exciting division race between these two, especially if they live up to their potentials. These two teams just seem very similar on paper. The Jays have a lot of veterans also competing for spots in the bullpen this spring, so it will be interesting to see how the Jays form the pen. In summary, Toronto's balanced. I think the balance is going to end up paying off for them this season, especially with the new schedule balance format that they've got. Up next, we have the Tampa Bay Rays. They finished third in the division with an 86-76 record and clinched their fourth straight playoff berth as the sixth seed last season, losing in the wildcard series 2-0 to the Guardians. I'm going to be blunt. I think the Rays are going to stink this year. They clearly cut payroll. They let Kevin Kiermaier walk. They traded G-Man Choi. The offense looks really disappointing on paper. I think they can easily play spoiler, and they have a knack of always being in the race, it seems like. I just don't trust the offense, though. I think it's their weak link. Wander Franco is their best hitter by far. Randy Arozarena can hit for power. But aside from that, they've got a lot of kind of all or nothing guys. The rotation definitely has potential to be a top five, but Tyler Glasnow is going to pitch his first full season since Tommy John, and that can be taxing on arms. I sincerely believe the rotation is going to keep them in the mix or at least prevent them from being an embarrassment. But the division is just super stacked, unfortunately. So it's going to be a tough road for them to get back on top. I feel the same way about the bullpen. They don't have flashy guys, but they have guys who can get the job done, and that will help them over the course of the season. They are without Andrew Kittredge for at least the first half of the season, if not longer. So Peter Fairbanks is probably the favorite for closing duties right now, but I do have a feeling the Rays are going to jump around with closer duties during the year. In summary, I think the Rays can be good, but as stacked as that division is, I fully expect them to take a step backward this year. Again, that offense just, I don't trust it. Up next, we have the Baltimore Orioles, who shocked everyone last year, improving their win-loss record by 31 games from 2021. They finished fourth in the division, and if the league had done a 14-team playoff format like they had thrown around, the Orioles would have been the seventh seed. I mean, this team was just so exciting to watch last year. They were in it up until the very end. Lineup wise, this team looks good. Similar to last season, they didn't make too many changes other than they added Adam Frazier and James McCann. Adley Rutschman, Kyle Stowers, Gunnar Henderson, they appear to be locks for their first full seasons, which will be exciting, and I believe that the lineup will be able to hold their own. I would say it's like middle of the pack, probably right down there with the Yankees and Jays. Like it's probably the third best lineup in this division. Rotation wise, I do think this is one of the weaker rotations because they are without John Means until June at least. And even when he comes back, he's going to be on an innings limit because of Tommy John surgery. I think the rotation can be sneaky good, but I also see the rotation struggling this year. Tyler Wells and Kyle Bradish, they're going to be pitching their first full seasons. So how they adjust to the competition is going to prove to be vital to the rotation's success. Kyle Gibson looks to be the favorite for opening day. He's a solid guy, but other than that, the rotation I could just easily see having some holes in it. Bullpen wise, it's average at best. I think if the Orioles are competing in the summer, they're going to add to the bullpen. That's the one area they have to add to, especially because they already have three guys listed here. Well, two guys listed here, but they have three guys questionable to start the season. Felix Bautista and DL Hall are questionable. They have injuries going into camp, and Dylan Tate is going to miss the first month of the season at least, if not more. So the bullpen already has some question marks. Summary, I don't expect the Orioles to be quite as good as they were last year, but it's only because of how many guys they have who are going to be playing their first full seasons. So I expect the team to go through some growing pains. Better to get it out of the way now, though, because next year is when they are supposed to be really good. So it's better to just get it out of the way, let these guys go through the dog pains of summer, and call it a day. And lastly, we have the Boston Red Sox. They finished last in the AL East with a 78 and 84 record. And I will say the Red Sox had a team that could have competed last year, but the pitching staff was atrocious, and that was ultimately what set them back. To me, the lineup actually looks pretty good. Even without Trevor Story, this lineup can hold their own. They have some first year guy, or they have some guys playing their first full seasons. Tristan Casas, Connor Wong is looking to get a lot of time at catcher this year. It'll be interesting to see how Masataka Yoshida does in his first full MLB season coming over from Japan. They are currently, it looks like Adalberto Mondesi, who they got from the Royals, could miss the start of the season. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Red Sox lineup goes. It's scrappy, but it can do damage if everyone's clicking on all cylinders. As for the rotation, it's also sneaky good if everyone is healthy. Chris Sale looks to be back. It looks like he's going to actually be ready for opening day, assuming that he doesn't have a setback. If he can return to form, that'll be a huge boost for them. Nick Pivetta and Corey Kluber, they can eat innings as well, so you got solid 2 and 3 there. Brian Bello also looks really good. He's a young arm. He's looking to make the rotation this year. I think he will make it as their number 5 starter. The only thing is he's reported some forearm soreness going into camp, so that could be a step back. That could hurt them a little bit. But for right now, I think he is their number 5. Bullpen wise, they added Kenley Jansen for the closer role. That could be good, but he has struggled the last couple of seasons. I wouldn't say the bullpen is great, but like the rest of the team, I think on any given night, the bullpen can be one of the sneaky best in the league. In conclusion, they are definitely better than the last place team, especially in this division. As competitive as it is, I think the Red Sox can hold their own. I think the scrappiness is going to shock a lot of people, and even come September, they might be in playoff contention. It's, baseball is baseball. And now for the division predictions, this is what I've got. I think the Jays are slightly better than the Yankees. I do believe if they start running into injury problems, it could be their downfall, but they have a great lineup. They have a good rotation and a solid bullpen. There's just balance all around. They've also got great farm depth. So I think ultimately the Jays can survive a 162 game season if they start running into problems. I don't doubt that one bit. As for the Yankees, they have the lineup to compete, but I have concerns about the rotation's health. over the course of the year. Aside from Cole, all four starters listed in Cortez and Rodon, Herman, and Severino, they have injury history, and the Yankees will need to either balance their workload or be ready to use their farm system to get them through the season, which I think they're more than capable of doing. That's why I think they're going to be right there with the Blue Jays at the end of the year. I really do believe the Red Sox are going to play better than everyone is saying. And to me, scrappiness is better than establishment sometimes. The Red Sox are the spoiler team in all of the American League, and they also haven't finished fourth in the division since 1997. It's not about to happen now. Yes, they might overachieve, but again, this division is super competitive. I just don't see them not being in it. For the Orioles, it was kind of like what I was saying. It won't surprise me to see the team have growing pains throughout the year. The rotation is either going to be really good or it's going to be really shaky. And if the offense is inconsistent, it's going to hurt them down the stretch. I can see them playing well. It's just a matter of how does everyone else do in the division. Like the Orioles are just going to need help from everybody if they're going to repeat what they did last year. And for the Rays, they have the weakest lineup in this whole division. It's easily the worst. I don't care how good on paper this rotation is. Scoring the most runs is still how you win games, and I don't see this team consistently putting up 5 to 6 runs a game, if not like maybe even 3 to 4. And I know I'm being hard on them, but again, it feels like this team really took a step back this offseason. It kind of feels like they're poised for a bit of a downfall. The bullpen has to be as good as the rotation too, and I think it's average at best, maybe slightly above average. So it's just going to be interesting. The Rays can play spoiler too, but with everybody else in this division, I just don't see them competing. All right, everyone, thank you for tuning into the video today. Let us know in the comments below how you think the AL East is going to perform. If you liked the video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you all soon. Happy spring training.